Grant Fisher lines up at Hayward Field on July 3rd, chasing an American 2-mile record that has never fallen outdoors. He already has a faster time than that record, but he ran it indoors. This time, he finally gets to chase it where it actually counts. One number is about to decide if he makes history. Does Fisher have what it takes? Let's start with the record itself. In 2007, Matt Tegenkamp ran the 2-mile in 8:07.07. He finished third that night. Australian Craig Mottram won the race in 8:03.50. Even in third place, Tegenkamp's time was faster than any American had ever run before him. 19 years later, it is still standing. Now here is where it gets interesting. Grant Fisher has already run faster than 8:07.07. He just did it indoors. In February of 2024 at the Millrose Games in Boston, Fisher ran 8:03.62 for 2 miles. That is nearly 4 seconds faster than Tegenkamp's outdoor record. Fisher finished second that day behind Britain's Josh Kerr, who set the world record at 8:00.67 in that same race. So Fisher has already shown he has the speed. The only thing he has never done is bring that speed outdoors at a meet like this one with a record on the line. That is about to change. Grant Fisher grew up in Grand Blanc, Michigan, and ran college track at Stanford before turning professional. Since then, he has become one of the most dangerous distance runners in the world. He holds the world record in the indoor short track 3,000 meters at 7:22.91. He holds the world record in the indoor short track 5,000 meters at 12:44.09. He also holds the American outdoor record in the 3,000 meters. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, Fisher won bronze in both the 5,000 meters and the 10,000 meters, becoming the first American man ever to medal in both events at a single Olympic Games. With speed like that, the 2-mile has always looked like his race to break. He just needed the right race to do it. That breakthrough race could be this one, and here is why. In late June, Fisher raced the 5,000 meters at the Paris Diamond League. For years, Fisher had been the guy who finished second or third in the biggest races of the season. He had 2 Olympic bronze medals, but a Diamond League win kept slipping away from him. In Paris, that finally changed. Fisher ran a 54-second final lap and crossed the line in 12:54.80. It was his first career Diamond League victory. He looked confident. He looked fast. It was the 5th Diamond League victory by an American men's middle distance or distance runner in 2026. That is the most in a single year that American men have ever recorded, and the season is not even over yet. American distance running has been climbing back toward the top of the world for a few years now, and Fisher has been one of the biggest reasons why. If he breaks the 2-mile record here, it becomes just one more piece of a season that is already historic. But breaking the American record is not even the biggest number on the table. Here is the real stakes. Only 2 men in the entire history of the sport have ever run a 2-mile under 8 minutes. Norway's Jakob Ingebrigtsen holds the world record at 7:54.10, set in Paris back in 2023. Kenya's Daniel Komen is the only other man ever under 8 minutes, running 7:58.61 in 1997. That is the complete list. 2 names across the entire history of the event. If Grant Fisher finds another gear here and dips under 8 minutes, he does not just take the American record. He becomes the 3rd man in history to ever do it. Fisher is not walking into an easy race. Parker Wolfe is entered, and Wolfe has already beaten Fisher once this season. Earlier in June, at the Bislett Games in Oslo, Wolfe ran Fisher down in the final straight and got him at the line. Wolfe is only 22 years old, and he already carries the title of 2024 NCAA champion in the 5,000 meters. His college coach called him one of the next great American distance runners, and Oslo showed why. Fisher did get revenge over Almgren a week later in Paris, but Oslo already proved this field will not just hand him a record. Australia's Kai Robinson is also racing, and he already has an Australian record of 12:50 for 5,000 meters this year. Germany's Mohamed Abdullahi could be the biggest wild card of the field. He opened his season with 2 big results at the Diamond League meets in China, but he has not raced in 6 weeks. Nobody outside his camp knows what kind of shape he is really in. There is a smaller story buried inside this field too. Parker Wolfe was coached at North Carolina by Chris Miltenberg, the same coach who guided Grant Fisher during his years at Stanford. Miltenberg has called Wolfe one of the next great American distance runners. In a strange twist, that next great runner stands directly between Fisher and the record he has been chasing since he first ran 8:03.62 indoors. This 2-mile is not even a Diamond League event. It is part of Friday night's shorter program at the Prefontaine Classic, tucked in after the mile and the 800 meters. Do not let that fool you. The field is loaded with championship-level talent, and meets like this one are built for fast, honest pacing from the gun, with rabbits and wave-light technology on the track to help the leaders find their rhythm early. The Prefontaine Classic moved to a 2-day format in 2026. Friday night belongs to the distance runners, and Saturday brings the big Diamond League card on the 4th of July, with stars like Faith Kipyegon and Armand Duplantis taking over in the afternoon. At this meet, the spotlight belongs to Grant Fisher, and the record standing in front of him. There is one more piece that makes this race feel even bigger. Back in 1969, a 17-year-old named Steve Prefontaine ran the 2-mile in 8:41.5 at a high school meet in Corvallis. That time stood as the best mark by an Oregon high schooler for more than 50 years. Prefontaine went on to break American records 14 times in his career. At one point, he held 8 American records at once, stretching from the 2,000 meters all the way up to 6 miles. Hayward Field has carried his name and his legacy for decades. On the same weekend as America's 250th birthday, at the meet built in his name, another American distance runner is chasing his own piece of that same history. So let's bring this all together. Matt Tegenkamp has held the American 2-mile record for 19 years, ever since that night in 207 when he ran 8:07.07 and still only finished third. Grant Fisher already owns a faster time than that indoors, and he is coming off the biggest win of his season in Paris. He has a field around him that includes Parker Wolfe, the man who already beat him once this year, Andreas Almgren, one of the fastest 5,000-meter runners alive, and Kai Robinson, an Australian record holder who is not here to just make up the numbers. And Fisher has a real shot at joining them. Every piece is in place. The form is there. The field is fast enough to pull him along. The record is old enough to fall. The only question left is whether Fisher can put it all together on the one race that matters most. Grant Fisher is stepping onto the track at Hayward Field on July 3rd, chasing a record that has outlasted every American runner for 19 years. Could this be the race that finally destroys it? We are about to find out.